I like getting intimate with women, and I find lots of different women attractive. I also make enough money that it would be within my budget to pay for escorts, but I choose not to. Why? Am I making some kind of moral stand, or is there some other kind of practical consideration? This video is going to be a bit different to my usual content. I'm not educating, I'm not telling you guys what to do. This is a personal video, it's about me, where I'm going to be explaining to you my thought process. Just talking about myself, how I reached the conclusion that I did, that paying for escort services is not right for me. If you do learn something, great, but otherwise just enjoy the story. First off, let me say I am fascinated by prostitution. As a teenage boy, I thought about sex a lot. The drive within me was scary. The hormones were so powerful. And in my horniest teenage moments, a pretty girl could have just walked up to me and propositioned me, said, let's do it right here. And I would have said yes. But that is not how the world works. Even though my teenage brain was swimming with fantasies, girls were not as eager as I was. And that gave me what I have termed sexual debt. It is the mismatch that every boy feels between his desires and his reality. I want to be having this much sex with this many women, but I'm only having this much or none at all. That gap is very painful. It's very frustrating. And that pain lasts. That sexual debt can be something that bothers you right through to adulthood. Now, as an adult with disposable income, I have the option of settling that debt using escorts. I could have as much sex as I liked with as many different women that I wanted. And it's not even that costly. This image shows the average price of escorts across the world. And as you can see, it's not that expensive. For a couple of $100s, I could have sex. That incredible, magical, elusive, and alluring experience. Being naked with another person, touching them, holding them, entering them. I could do that just by paying money? That is mind-blowing. The fact that something that I have craved from the core of my being since puberty could be reduced to a simple financial transaction, that is fascinating to me. And I am also fascinated by the female side, that something so precious and valuable and intimate to a woman could just be a service that she provides in the same way that you might hire a cleaner. That is extraordinary. The commodification of people and the implications for what we hold sacred as humans is so interesting. The idea that you can rent a woman and then use her body to gratify yourself, that is fascinating. So why not do it? Why have I never taken this option? After all, it's an affordable way to settle my sexual debt, to satiate my cravings for novelty and gratification. Isn't this a no-brainer? Well, no, not for me, and I'm going to explain my reasons why. But before I go into depth on this, I want to take a moment to talk about regular women who you don't need to rent. Like, what do you do if your friends introduce you to a genuinely great woman? She's kind, she's friendly, she's feminine, and you want to ask her out. You want her to be attracted to you, but you're standing in front of her and you don't know what to say. You're really nervous. You're fumbling your words. You're trying too hard. You don't want to blow it. And this is where Marnie, your personal wing girl, can help. Her YouTube channel has over 1 million subscribers, and using her proven system, she has helped tens of thousands of men build confidence and attract the women that they want. When you're talking with a woman that you like, you might be plagued with anxious thoughts like, she's out of my league, or I'm not handsome enough. That sucks, man. Those thoughts are gonna mess you up. You could blow your chance. But if you apply Marnie's F formula, you could be like 100,000 other men who've already experienced life-changing results. Check out these testimonials. And because Wing Girl Method are sponsoring today's video, they're offering my audience an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description box to get an exclusive preview of the F formula completely free. Plus, if you decide to pick up the full program, you'll get 20% off as an added bonus. If you're single and you're not having the success with women that you want, you need to check this out. Click on the link below to get access now. Okay, back to the video and the reasons why I have personally chosen to never hire an escort. Remember, this is not me preaching, telling men what to do. This is not me judging you for your choices. This is a personal video. This is about me. I'm talking about myself, my values, my temperament, why it's not the right choice for Alexander. Okay, so what are my reasons? Well, the first one is obvious. I'm in a monogamous relationship with Emily. We've been together for 16 years and we have an agreement on exclusivity. If she found out I was sleeping with escorts, she would probably break up with me. Or maybe she would forgive me. I don't know, but I don't want to risk it. My relationship is worth too much to me. I could try doing it behind her back and keeping it a secret, but that's not really an option for me because personally, so much of my enjoyment in my relationship comes from the ability to be completely honest and transparent. This is not me claiming any kind of altruistic virtue. My instinct here is selfish. I would not enjoy living a life of deception. That doesn't sound fun to me. Now, if I was not in a relationship or exclusivity was not part of our agreement, I think temptation would substantially increase, but I still don't think that I would partake. And again, my reasons are selfish. Because in my life, to maintain my enjoyment, my top priority is to maintain a high self-esteem. And I have a fear that sleeping with escorts would undermine that. Let me explain. With no false modesty, I have a very high opinion of myself. I think I'm fucking awesome. And I also have high standards for the quality of people that I let into my life. Basically, if you want to spend time with me, you have to earn it. You have to be a quality person. You have to be intelligent, virtuous, kind, creative, whatever it is. I don't like spending time with low quality people. I haven't been lazy in my life. I haven't taken easy roads. I've done hard work sustained over decades. And having achieved a high level of self-esteem, I'm really only interested with spending time with other quality people. And it is my judgment that women who are escorts are not quality individuals. I understand that everybody needs to make money, but my feeling is that a woman who resorts to renting out her body in order to make money likely has very few other gifts or talents. To me, escorting is not an impressive career. There's no barrier to entry. Anybody could do it. High quality women are not going to aspire to become prostitutes. So when it comes to sex, that special, magical, intimate act, my high self-esteem means that I would only grant access to that part of me to somebody amazing, somebody who has truly earned it. And while with my sexuality, I do have strong animal instinct urges, which in my weakest moments could prompt me to drop my standards and just sleep with anybody, what I've discovered about myself is that those urges are never stronger than my instinct to preserve my own self-esteem, which I do by maintaining high standards. I know what it's like to share the sexual experience with a woman that I love, who loves me, where trust and respect and mutual attraction flows back and forth with abundance. And in those experiences, I feel amazing. It's an incredible boost to my self-esteem, a celebration of who I am. It's joyous. So to sleep with a woman who does not love me, who does not know me, who would let any man sleep with her for a price, my self-esteem would plummet. Once the horniness wears off, I could not escape the thoughts, what is wrong with me? I'm better than this. I'm amazing. Don't I deserve a woman who loves me? Why am I letting this escort have access to such a valuable part of me? She hasn't earned this. My fear is that if I started sleeping with escorts, it would be unavoidable for me to start reevaluating my self-worth. I thought I was this amazing quality guy who could inspire genuine love and desire in a woman. But look at me sleeping with these escorts. Maybe I'm not the amazing guy that I thought I was. Maybe I'm just some loser who's so unattractive to women that I have to pay for them to spend time with me. These implications are specific to my temperament and my value system. I'm not talking about others, I'm talking about myself. My mind cannot help but make these connections. That's just how I think. Everything that I do, all of the choices that I make, the behaviors I engage in, the people I interact with, it's all a reflection of who I am, my worth, my quality. And it's my honest assessment that I am too good to associate with low quality women. Now, I have had the thought that maybe it doesn't need to be this complicated. Maybe this is not as significant as I'm making it out to be. These connections are just inventions of my mind. Can't I just wish them away? Like, what if I reframed it as me sleeping with escorts is just proof of how awesome I am? Look how powerful I am. Look how in control of my own life I am. I'm the man. I know what I want. I'm not ashamed of having sexual desires. I have the money to get what I need. I can satisfy my desires on my terms. Sleeping with escorts is empowering. I'm just gonna enjoy the sex and not think too deeply about it. That line of thinking might be convincing were it not for the fact that I am 100% confident that I would not enjoy the experience. I know myself. I am very sensitive. I'm very high in empathy. I am very attuned to the emotions of others. That's just how I am wired. If I was sleeping with an escort and I looked into her eyes and I saw boredom or indifference or even contempt or disgust, I 100% would not be able to continue. I just couldn't. I am not comfortable taking pleasure at the expense of somebody else. Psychologically and emotionally, I only feel safe in exchanges with reciprocity for mutual benefit. If we're not both enjoying the experience, I'm not enjoying it. And I know that I would be paying money, but that would not be enough because I don't believe that prostitution is a healthy choice for women. When I was younger, I was on the fence about this. I imagined that there must be some professional women out there who don't mind it. Maybe they even like it. And yeah, maybe those women do exist, but I don't think that that's the majority. Overwhelmingly, I think that the industry would be populated with broken, traumatized women, drug addicts, many of whom would have suffered childhood abuse. My position on this was clarified about 5 years ago when I read the book Prostitution Narratives. I highly recommend this book. It is the stories and experiences of 20 different women in the industry, and it is harrowing. I'm not white knighting here. I think that the sex industry is exploitative of men. I think it preys on male weakness, and some of the hustling women in the industry are genuinely awful, exploitative people. But I think that perpetrators can also be victims, and the darkness that is etched into these women is something I cannot forget. It haunts me. It is a dark, dark industry filled with very broken people. And at a fundamental biological level, I do not think that it is natural. I think that women evolved to protect sexual access to their bodies. The true instinct of femininity in its natural state is to be chaste, to not let just any man have access. From an evolutionary point of view, to sleep with so many men is dangerous. If you don't vet sexual partners for character and commitment, then as a woman, you could become pregnant with a man who abandons you or mistreats and abuses you. That puts the survival of you and your child at risk. This is why women have such strong instincts against this. Why, for the majority of women, if you ask them, could you ever become an escort, they would shudder and think, no, absolutely not. I couldn't do it. That's normal. That's a natural reaction. So my feeling is that the women who are able to engage in this work, they have lost touch with something innate to their femininity. They're very lost. They're broken. It's very, very sad. And I feel like there is no way that I could participate and get any pleasure from that experience. I would need to switch off my empathy to get the deed done. But that's not what sex is to me. It's not masturbation using another person's body, it's connection. But I would be frightened to connect to those women. And that's why the whole thing has no appeal to me. Knowing what it is to experience sex in the context of a loving relationship that connects me to my partner and to myself, that boosts my self-esteem. I feel good about myself. I feel like a winner. So that's the only kind of sex that interests me. So that's why, based on my values, it's my personal choice to not sleep with escorts. Now, I wonder what this was like for you guys in the audience listening to me talk about myself, especially for you guys who are happy to use escorts. Were you able to listen and think, well, that's him, that's his choice, it's based on his personality. I'm wired differently, so I make different choices, but I'm not threatened by him having a different point of view. Was that your experience, or did you panic and think, if Alexander's making different choices than I am, then he must be judging me. He's telling me my views and my choices are bad. I really want to build a community where I can express myself sincerely and honestly and not feel pressured for all of us to have the exact same perspective on everything. And that's why I chose this topic, because these thoughts are meant just 100% as an explanation of my own thoughts and values based on my own neurological makeup, which is unique. You're not wired the same as me. You haven't had the same life experiences. So my conclusions are not transferable to everybody. And to prove it, I'm going to spend the rest of the video talking about what could potentially change in my life that would make me shift my position on this. So if you feel differently to me about this topic and that bothers you, and you'd like to know under what circumstances I would have a different set of values, then you're going to want to watch the rest of this video. It is available on Patreon. That is where I post the full-length versions of my videos. What you see here posted on YouTube, these are just the shortened, abridged versions. If you like my videos, you like my content, and you want more, there's a whole library waiting for you. Just come and join me on Patreon.